Ben Solo, son of Han Solo and Leia Organa, trained as a Jedi under Luke Skywalker. In Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, flashbacks reveal Ben was Luke's most promising student at his new Jedi temple, showing natural strength in the Force inherited from his grandfather, Anakin Skywalker. Supreme Leader Snoke, sensing Ben's power and his internal conflict between light and darkness, began manipulating the young Jedi through the Force across vast distances. Luke sensed the darkness growing in Ben, and in a moment of fear, ignited his lightsaber while his nephew slept, contemplating killing him to prevent another Darth Vader. Ben woke, saw his uncle standing over him with a weapon, and brought the temple down on Luke in self-defense. He then slaughtered the other students, sparing only a few who joined him, and became Kylo Ren, enforcer of the First Order. Throughout the sequel trilogy, Kylo struggles with what he calls the pull to the light, repeatedly showing hesitation when ordered to kill. He murders his father Han on a bridge in The Force Awakens, yet the act tears him apart rather than strengthening his dark side commitment. Supreme Leader Snoke mocks him in The Last Jedi, telling him he has too much of his father's heart, and sneering that he's no Vader, just a child in a mask. Kylo kills Snoke, takes command of the First Order, and still cannot escape the light calling him back. His transformation wasn't a complete embrace of evil, but a desperate attempt to escape the pressure of his legacy, proving that even villains can be created by the heroes who fear them. Harvey Dent was Gotham City's crusading district attorney in The Dark Knight, portrayed by Aaron Eckhart as the city's White Knight and symbol of legitimate justice. Dent prosecuted organized crime through the legal system, working alongside Batman and Lieutenant James Gordon to dismantle mob operations without vigilante violence. He publicly announced himself as Batman to draw out the Joker and protect the real Dark Knight, willing to sacrifice his freedom and reputation for Gotham's safety. Bruce Wayne saw Dent as the hero Gotham deserved, the one who could inspire hope through the system, rather than through fear in the shadows. Dent was engaged to Rachel Dawes, and the three formed a partnership they believed could save the city. The Joker, played by Heath Ledger, orchestrated Dent's downfall with surgical precision. He kidnapped both Rachel and Harvey, placing them in separate buildings rigged with explosives. Batman saved Dent, but half of Harvey's face was burned by the explosion, and Rachel died. The physical and psychological trauma shattered Dent's faith in justice, order, and morality. He became Two-Face, using a scarred coin to make decisions about life and death, believing chance was the only honest arbiter left in a corrupt world. Dent murdered 5 people, including corrupt cops and mobsters, before Batman stopped him. The tragedy wasn't just Harvey's transformation, but what it represented. Gotham's legitimate hope was destroyed, forcing Batman and Gordon to lie about Dent's crimes to preserve the symbol he once represented. The man who proved justice could work within the system became proof that anyone can be broken. Dr. Otto Octavius was a brilliant nuclear physicist and Peter Parker's idol in Spider-Man 2, directed by Sam Raimi and released in 2004. Alfred Molina played Octavius as a kind, principled scientist working to solve the world's energy crisis through sustainable fusion. Peter attended the demonstration of Otto's revolutionary fusion reactor, which used 4 mechanical arms controlled by a neural interface to manipulate the reaction safely. Otto told Peter before the demonstration that intelligence is a gift to be used for the good of mankind, not for personal gain or glory. He called his wife Rosie his greatest creation, showing warmth and humanity despite his genius. The demonstration went catastrophically wrong when the fusion reaction became unstable. The electromagnetic pulse disabled the inhibitor chip that prevented the mechanical arm's artificial intelligence from overwhelming Otto's mind. Flying metal debris killed Rosie instantly, and the arms fused permanently to Otto's spine during the chaos. After surgeons tried and failed to remove the arms, Otto woke in a hospital to find himself bonded to machines that now influenced his thoughts. The arm's AI, designed for efficiency and survival, began overriding his moral judgment. Doctor Octopus robbed banks to fund a second fusion attempt, kidnapped Mary Jane to force Spider-Man's cooperation, and nearly destroyed Manhattan to complete his work. The arms whispered to him constantly, turning his scientific drive into dangerous obsession. In the film's climax, Peter Parker's words, "Sometimes we have to give up the things we want most, even our dreams," broke through the arm's control. Otto regained himself for one moment, acknowledged what he'd become, and drowned himself along with the reactor to save the city. His transformation showed how quickly noble intentions can be corrupted when paired with power that overwhelms human will. Smeagol was a creature related to hobbits living near the Gladden Fields roughly 500 years before the events of The Lord of the Rings. In The Return of the King, a flashback shows Smeagol fishing with his friend Deagle when Deagle discovered the One Ring in the river. The ring's corrupting influence took hold of Smeagol instantly. He demanded Deagle give him the ring as a birthday present, and when Deagle refused, Smeagol strangled him to death and took it. This was the ring's first murder through a new bearer since Isildur. Smeagol was exiled from his community for the crime and fled into the Misty Mountains, where the ring extended his life far beyond natural limits while slowly destroying his body and mind. Over 5 centuries, the creature that was, Smeagol became Gollum, named for the horrible swallowing sound he made in his throat. The ring created a split personality. Smeagol represented the fading remnants of who he once was, capable of moments of genuine affection and loyalty, especially toward Frodo Baggins, who showed him kindness. Gollum represented his corrupted self, obsessed with reclaiming his precious and willing to betray anyone to get it. Actor Andy Serkis portrayed both personalities through motion capture, showing how they argued with each other and fought for control. In The Two Towers, Frodo nearly reached Smeagol completely, offering genuine friendship. Sam's distrust pushed Smeagol back toward Gollum's influence, and the creature led the hobbits to Shelob's lair, planning to reclaim the ring after the giant spider killed them. Gollum bit off Frodo's finger to reclaim the ring at Mount Doom, then fell into the lava, destroying both himself and the ring. His transformation was complete 500 years before the story began, but the original Smeagol never fully disappeared, trapped inside a monster created by a moment of murderous greed. Just a heads up, if this is your kind of thing, I post content like this all the time. Subscribing would really mean a lot. Reagan, called Cypher and played by Joe Pantoliano, served as a crew member aboard the Nebuchadnezzar in The Matrix from 1999. He was part of Morpheus's team, freed from the Matrix and fighting alongside Neo, Trinity, and the others against the machines. The film reveals Cypher's betrayal gradually, showing him making a mysterious phone call early in the story before his true intentions become clear. In the famous steak dinner scene, Cypher meets with Agent Smith inside the Matrix, having contacted the machines to make a deal. He tells Smith he knows the steak isn't real, that the Matrix is feeding his brain signals telling him it's juicy and delicious. But after 9 years, he's realized ignorance is bliss. Cypher wants to be reinserted into the Matrix with his memories erased, given a new life as someone important and wealthy, an actor perhaps. In exchange, he'll give the machines Morpheus, whose mind contains access codes to the mainframe of Zion, humanity's last city. Cypher explains that Morpheus believes he's saving people by freeing them from the Matrix, but Cypher thinks he's destroying lives by waking people into the desert of the real. He murders several crew members while they're connected to the Matrix, pulling their plugs and causing their deaths in both worlds. He attempts to kill Neo and Trinity, but is stopped when Tank, whom Cypher shot but failed to kill, manages to destroy him from the real world. Cypher's transformation wasn't sudden. He'd been disillusioned for years, living in the cold reality of humanity's underground existence, eating processed slop, wearing rags, and fighting a war he believed was already lost. His betrayal represented the ultimate philosophical question of the Matrix trilogy. Is a comfortable lie better than a harsh truth? Cypher decided it was, making him a traitor to humanity, but arguably someone who understood what most people would actually choose if given the option. Najatika, who became Erik Killmonger, was born in Oakland, California, as the son of Prince Najobu, a Wakandan undercover operative monitoring the outside world. In Black Panther from 2018, flashbacks show young N'Jadaka discovering his father's body after King T'Chaka killed Najobu for betraying Wakanda by selling vibranium weapons to arm oppressed people. T'Chaka left the boy in Oakland rather than bringing him to Wakanda, abandoning him to the American foster system. N'Jadaka grew up in poverty, watching his community suffer from systemic inequality, while knowing his father's homeland possessed the resources and technology to help, but chose isolation instead. He earned a degree from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and joined the Navy SEALs, becoming one of the most effective Black Ops soldiers in American Special Forces. Erik earned the nickname Killmonger and marked his body with a raised scar for every kill, covering his torso and arms with thousands of marks, representing a lifetime of violence. He didn't become a villain through corruption or madness, but through ideology. Killmonger believed Wakanda's refusal to help Black and brown people worldwide was a moral crime. He orchestrated an elaborate plan to challenge T'Challa for the throne through ritual combat, which was his legal right as a member of the royal family. Michael B. Jordan portrayed Killmonger with genuine pain and righteous anger, making him one of Marvel's most sympathetic antagonists. After winning the challenge and becoming king, Killmonger ordered Wakandan weapons distributed to operatives around the world, planning to arm revolutions and overthrow governments. His plan would have caused global chaos and millions of deaths, but from his perspective, it was justice delayed for centuries, finally arriving. T'Challa defeated him in a second battle, and as Killmonger died, he quoted his father, saying he'd rather die free than live in bondage. Director Ryan Coogler stated in interviews that Killmonger's rage was justified. His methods were not, and the film intentionally showed how Wakanda's isolationism created him. T'Challa opened Wakanda to the world specifically because Killmonger was right about their responsibility. The transformation from abandoned child to revolutionary terrorist was tragic because his anger came from a legitimate place, making him a villain created by the hero's failures. Saruman the White was the leader of the Istari, the order of wizards sent to Middle-earth to oppose Sauron, and head of the White Council in The Lord of the Rings. Christopher Lee portrayed Saruman as wise and powerful, initially appearing as Gandalf's superior and mentor. Saruman had spent thousands of years studying the enemy, researching the Rings of Power, and preparing for Sauron's return. He commanded respect from Elrond, Galadriel, and even Gandalf himself, who told Frodo in the Fellowship of the Ring that Saruman was wise and his words were good counsel. The White Council met at Rivendell to discuss the growing darkness, and Saruman argued against taking preemptive action, convincing the others that Sauron was still weak. This was already betrayal. Saruman had been using a Palantir, one of the ancient Seeing Stones, to spy on Sauron, but instead became corrupted by what he saw. The Dark Lord showed Saruman visions of his inevitable victory, armies that could not be stopped, and power that could not be matched. Saruman decided that fighting Sauron was futile, and that the only rational choice was to join him, or at least to serve alongside him as an equal, until the opportunity for betrayal presented itself. He transformed Isengard, his tower at Orthanc, into an industrial war machine. He crossbred orcs with goblin men to create the Uruk-hai, a superior fighting force that could operate in daylight, unlike regular orcs. The film shows Isengard's beautiful forests torn down, furnaces burning constantly, and thousands of warriors being bred in caverns beneath the tower. Saruman told Gandalf that the old world would burn in the fires of industry, that the time of the elves was over, and that a new power was rising. His pride made him believe he could control or eventually overthrow Sauron once the conquest was complete. Gandalf confronted Saruman at Orthanc and was imprisoned for refusing to join the conspiracy. Saruman's armies nearly destroyed Rohan at Helm's Deep before the Ents, the ancient tree shepherds, attacked Isengard and demolished his forces. Even in defeat, Saruman remained dangerous, and in the extended edition of The Return of the King, he's killed by his own servant, Grima Wormtongue, after years of abuse. Saruman's fall demonstrated that even the wise can be corrupted when they stare too long into the darkness they're meant to oppose. Speckles was a trained mole, working for the FBI as part of the G-Force team in the 2009 family film G-Force, voiced by Nicolas Cage. The film follows a team of specially trained guinea pigs, including Darwin, Blaster, and Juarez, conducting espionage missions for the government. Speckles served as the team's tech specialist and reconnaissance expert, using his natural digging abilities and technological skills to support field operations. During a mission to stop electronics billionaire Leonard Saber from implementing a mysterious plan called Cluster Storm, Speckles appeared to be killed in an explosion while gathering intelligence. The team mourned their fallen comrade, believing he died a hero in service to his country. The film's twist reveals Speckles survived and is actually the true villain Saber, the mysterious mastermind who's been feeding the FBI false information and manipulating G-Force's investigations. Leonard Saber, the billionaire the team was investigating, was innocent all along. Speckles had created household appliances embedded with hidden technology that would transform into weapons simultaneously across the world, destroying human civilization in a coordinated strike called Cluster Storm. His motivation wasn't random villainy, but revenge, rooted in trauma. Speckles revealed that when he was young, humans destroyed his home and killed his family to build a golf course, leaving him with a lifelong hatred of humanity, even after the FBI later recruited and trained him. Speckles decided that humans were inherently cruel to animals, and that the only solution was extinction. The climactic battle shows Speckles unleashing Cluster Storm, with household appliances worldwide transforming into rolling weapons of destruction. Darwin and the team appeal to Speckles' former heroism, reminding him that not all humans are cruel, and that the FBI agents who trained him genuinely cared. Speckles ultimately helps stop Cluster Storm, unable to follow through with genocide despite his pain. The film treats his transformation with surprising weight for a family movie, acknowledging that trauma from abuse can turn victims into perpetrators of violence if left unaddressed. If you found this worth your time, think about subscribing so you don't miss what comes next. Thanks for watching.